I almost never do consulting with anybody who doesn't already have $1 million business. Very few people want to learn anything. Learning's boring. Now, after they pay you money, it's the exact opposite. Like, especially if you're selling educational products. That person who didn't want to learn a damn thing, once they pay you and they say, I value this thing, now they'll learn as much of that as they humanly possibly can. But most people, they don't want to learn how to build a watch. They want you to tell them what time it is. And that's what we really do on the content portions of our webinars is we give them light switches. We don't teach them how to be electricians. And that's a big mistake that a lot of people misunderstand. And then we've got to transition into whatever the offer is. If the offer is to move the sale forward or make the sell, doesn't matter. We still got to transition. And what I love to do is get them to understand that at this point in time, if I left them, then the only choice they have is to do it on themselves with their own resources and their own capabilities. I mean, and if that was the only choice, great, go for it. But what if there was another choice? What if there was a way we could work together? If it made sense, would you be interested and open to the idea, or should I just leave you on your own in a cold, dark, miserable existence to fumble around and hope and pray that somehow, some way you make it on your own? Or maybe I could offer you something. I don't know. It's up to you. That's not too far from how I actually transition in most instances on a webinar. But we help them see the difference between not investing and investing. And then once they realize that, hey, I should at least consider investing, then we make the offer. If it's a book a call, then it's pretty easy. You gotta show the future in the present. Here's how it works next. When you go to this link, you're going to see this calendar. On this calendar, you're going to be able to click and select a time. Once you click and select a time, this is how you fill out the form. Once you fill out the form, an email will be sent to you. The email will contain this information, yada, yada, yada. By the way, there's 100 other techniques I could teach you, but that one is the easiest and most effective for most people, frankly. Frankie, you just got to bring the future into the present. It's a great sales technique for compliance on booking calls. And if it's, making an offer, then there's a whole science around that too, where you show what they're going to pay for. Then you position the price so it looks as attractive as possible. Then you add in the bonuses to increase the value. Then you address the risk, whether it's a guarantee, better than money back guarantee or no guarantee. I do all of those depending on the circumstance. And then you introduce the scarcity, which is the benefit for acting fast and the penalty for not acting fast. And then you can hang out and you can answer objections like we talked about earlier. That is the most efficient way that I could explain webinars.
Yeah. Which is pretty awesome, by the way. Especially, I think one of the most useful things for our audience is the fear of loss. I can tell you, as somebody who's sold like a lot of SEO packages, if you sell, you're going to have more leads and more sales and more customers tomorrow, which is what most people sell. You will make far less sales than if you can establish the fact that ABC Restoration is kicking your ass now, and you are losing $100,000 a month to them right now because you're not fixing this. Like, I promise you, if you can bring it into the present, what you said, where you're losing now, will make you far. And in practice, almost everybody does the opposite.
They do the opposite because addition is easier than subtraction. People aren't trained to see the invisible. That's not how eyes work. Eyes see what's in front of them. They don't see what's not in front of them. And that's the same with most people when it comes to selling, is they think about adding stuff because that's a visual component. I can understand that, I can wrap my head around it. I first think about removing stuff, which is invisible. But that's why we get paid the big bucks, dude, because we have to abstract.
Yeah.
That's why those skills are so valuable, because most people don't know how to do them and they're not willing to learn how to do them.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you one last piece on the mindset side of it, because I don't think enough people really have internalized something that is just very obvious to me, is really selling a service. Like you mentioned, transforming people's lives and really making a difference, coming from a place where you genuinely believe this offer is easily worth 10, 20, 300x what I'm asking. And I think it's really the key to selling anything. Like you mentioned, your consulting rate, $3,500 an hour. For a lot of people listening to that, they'd go, oh my God, that sounds like a bit. But the reason you can do that is because we're going to get on a call and I'm going to show you how to rock, an extra 100,000 out of a webinar you're already doing. And so to you, it's probably a steal.
I mean, different things are worth different stuff to different people. So I almost never do consulting with anybody who doesn't already have $1 million business. Like, because if you're just starting, I can give you some good practices, but it's unlikely you'll see an ROI on my $3,500 for a very long ass time. But if you're making, some of these clients I work with, I had a client the other day does $100 million a month. That's over $1 billion a year, right? I could randomly throw words out of the dictionary and they would probably make 1% more next year because Jason Fladlin said it. I don't even have to try, and this client's going to make a lot of money. Usually it's somewhere in between, but it's in the millions of dollars. So, and this is a great lesson for everybody when it comes to constructing offers is to the right audience, a low price is not a good thing. A higher price is preferable. And most people don't cater to the best segments of the market. They cater to everybody in the market, which is ridiculous because there's 1% of the market that will spend 50% of its money. I mean, I was just in Monaco last week, Frankie. It was my anniversary. And
congrats,
I never felt more poor in my life. And I've done reasonably well for myself. And I'm just like, God, I mean, I felt like an imposter there. Like I felt homeless compared to the Monaco money that was around me. And it's just, there's always levels to this. And by the way, you can, a jet salesman doesn't have to own a jet himself in order to sell a $27 million jet, right? You don't have to make as much money as your clients. You just have to help the clients make more money. So there's so many lessons to this that it's just incredible when you think about it. But yeah, different things are worth to different people. So Disney has a FastPass line. You have to pay extra for that. To the busy person whose time is super valuable, he would be pissed off if Disney did not offer him that. He would go somewhere else. So Disney can make less money and lose a customer, or they can make more money and make a happier customer. Now, here's one thing I want to also talk about, Frankie, that I think is really important. I didn't start there. I started selling $4 ebooks, 6-page ebooks for $4 on the Warrior
That
Farm.
probably felt like a big ask when you first did it, right? You're like,
I was scared out of my mind. Yeah. I mean, my sales pitch was brilliant. I didn't know what I was doing, but fear can be a great clarifier. I said, hey, listen, I think I can cut your article writing time in half the first time you try this. I'm only asking $4 measly to prove myself. And hey, if I don't, you can get your $4 back. And then I had like 5 bullet points. Here's what you're going to learn if you buy my product. Bullet 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and buy it if you want to. And that was my first pitch. And it worked so good because I was just brutally honest and I sold at a super cheap price. I'm like, essentially I was saying, hey, listen, if it ain't worth you gambling $4 where you could save, 15 minutes every single time you write an article. And some of these guys are writing 1,000 articles a month or so on and so forth, right? They're like, hell, I'll gamble that because people are buying tabloid magazines at checkouts at supermarkets that say Elvis's baby was impregnated by an alien, right? They're spending $4 on that nonsense. They'll gamble $4 on this. And here's what's cool about it, Frankie. Once the results came in, once I had 168 people tell me, Jason, this was awesome. Thank you so much for this. Then I say, okay, I undercharged. I fucked up, right? So then I increased the price. And now this is going to blow your mind how much I increased it to. I mean, I really went all the way with it.
$6, $7?
$7, baby. Yeah, I increased that bad boy. Yeah. I mean, that's almost 100% price increase, right? And then when people still kept buying, I got really crazy and jumped up to 17. We're talking double digits, right? But the results kept coming in. So I kept trading up. So you should never sell something first that you don't know for sure how valuable it is. But once you see the value of it, then you should increase your price, which will allow you to increase your value more. Because if I got no margin, I can't invest as easily in other deliverables to enhance the offer. I can't make better than money back guarantees. I can't do some of this other stuff. Yeah. But if I have more margin, I have more to invest in a customer. Now, Frankie, here's the thing that in 2025 still blows my mind. People will spend more money with Meta and they'll spend more money with Google to increase their ads, but they won't spend more money with their own customers, which probably has a higher ROI because it would cut your advertising costs down because your increase in conversion would go up.
Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact, my dude. Hey guys, if you like this video, you may also like my best-selling book here, Beyond the Agency Box. It is all about scaling a digital marketing agency while eliminating meetings and phone calls. We actually sell our stuff
phoneless. We don't have any client meetings, and we also hire our team entirely without meeting phone calls, which allows us to, like actually kind of live a life. I've laid out the entire blueprint in everything you need to know, getting clients, onboarding, setting expectations, scaling, building a team, you name it. It has been a bestseller on Amazon now for over 5 straight years, but now you can get it even cheaper than you can get it on Amazon. So I can't tell you the exact price because it may change when this video is released, but there should be a link to it below, either in the description of the video or as well as a pinned comment. So if you're interested in that, check out that video and you can get a copy for super cheap.